Hey guys, here we go into a video on Corey Sandhagen's absolute destruction of Marlon Moaraes. Now, I don't know if people realize what an absolute dominating performance this was, but for me, this was a little bit more impressive beating Marlon Moaraes like this than Adesanya beating Paulo Costa like he did. Even though Paulo Costa didn't land any punches, Marlon Moaraes is a much better fighter than Paulo Costa. Much tougher customer. They're very similar. They're similar, but I think on average, Marlon Moaraes is much better than Paulo Costa is. Strategically and all that fun stuff. But what we're looking at today is how we got to this position with Marlon Moaraes, right, making so many fundamental mistakes, right? Not getting off the line, not changing positions, not countering, not looking to, control the space. How he winds up getting pushed off his line and walked into what probably should be the head kick of the year, but getting pushed off and getting hit with a wheel kick, right? With with a feint, right? How often do you even see kicks like this in the UFC? Let alone ones that are set up so well, right? Boom, feint, push him off of his line, right? So what we're going to talk about is how we got to this point. And the first thing that I want to talk about is this clip here, because I think this clip encapsulates the entire essence of the fight. And it's Marlon Moaraes getting to the line, getting feinted by Corey Sandhagen, attacking it with a leg kick, Sandhagen getting off the line, and then getting back on the line with him and landing his own leg kick, showing that on the line, he is much faster than Marlon Moaraes. And his ability to get on the line and change positions and make an attack before Marlon Moaraes really even understands that even though they're meeting on the front of their front feet, they're not in the same position. That Corey Sandhagen is ready to move out of that position much faster than Marlon Moaraes is, and on average beats him to the line and is able to dominate him with leg kicks throughout the fight to compromise his position and push him off of his line. Now, the really interesting thing about this is these leg kicks, not only do they score, not only are they a good jab, right? A good test for your measurement. Where are you? All these things. It does so many great things, but it also extrapolates the problem that was already present 30 seconds into the fight, was that Corey Sandhagen was so much, quote unquote, faster than Marlon Moaraes. Rather, my personal theory in combat sports is speed is an illusion. Your ability to change positions determines how fast you are, not your hand speed or your foot speed, right? But your ability to transition and change positions, but transition your weight. And Corey Sandhagen, much more able to manipulate his weight in and out of positions to land strikes than Moaraes. And extrapolating that idea with the use of his leg kicks, as we're going to see throughout the course of the fight, the first thing he does when he gets on the line here with Mr. Moaraes is land a leg kick. And then Mr. Moaraes misses his own, right? Very, very important idea for the flow of the beginning of the fight. And then immediately Moaraes looking to attack Sandhagen, right? 15 seconds into the fight, but look at what Sandhagen does when that feint comes out, right? He slips to the front foot, transitions his way to the front foot, bringing weight off of his back leg, Mr. Moaraes, and that's going to be usually the signal or the tell that he's about to throw a leg kick, right? Or control the space with his right hand or throw a straight right hand, right? And Corey Sandhagen realizes what range they're at when he meets him on the line and moves his leg and changes to southpaw to protect his lead leg from the leg kicks of Marlon Moaraes. Now, as the UFC grows and evolves, expect this to be the norm. As fighters get better at controlling the space and understanding positions, expect that leg kicks grow and grow and grow. And this strategy of protecting your leg, simply changing positions and getting off the line, this will grow and become a more constant, more popular idea, especially as you have someone as talented as Corey Sandhagen able to turn that weight transition and weight management and that rhythm into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Beats, right? To set up his own leg kick, just barely tapping Marlon Moaraes, but using that same rhythm that he gets pushed off of his line with to set up a leg kick of his own as he meets Marlon Moaraes on the line. Right? Just excellent weight management, excellent on and off the line work. an excellent ability to change positions. And again, these leg kicks are only going to extrapolate the difference in both of these fighters' abilities to change positions. Now, I wanted to bring up this clip because this one exemplifies the ideas between the positions. Now, notice, as Corey Sandhagen makes his way to the front foot and he starts slipping, remember in the previous clip how I said Marlon Moraes slipping to the front foot signifies a probe of the right hand or a right leg kick. Well, as Corey Sandhagen meets Moraes on the line, Moraes assumes that it's going to be a straight right hand. So he takes his weight from this position here, his weight on the back foot, to slipping to the front foot, and transfers his weight more towards the front foot as he transfers his weight from the back foot. He's going to create a more solid line. As you see, he gets farther into position, 2, 3, as his weight becomes distributed on the left side of his body through his heel, knee, and his head, whereas Corey Sandhagen is going from the back foot to the front foot, making a very similar motion for transferring his weight. Let's just watch it again, where Corey Sandhagen is on the back foot essentially here, his weight in a line on the back foot. He looks to transition his weight to the front foot, heel, knee, head, through his kick, right? And notice at the end of that line, his weight being centered nearly over his front foot, right? A very similar idea. Now, it's fascinating because at this point, they are so close to each other in the ring, right? But as Corey Sandhagen slips to the front foot shooting this right hand, Marlon Moraes peels and takes a step, creating a larger distance between Corey Sandhagen's center line and Marlon Moraes' target, right? His head, right? Moving it off the line. However, Corey Sandhagen, instead of throwing a right hand, also throws a right leg, similar to what similar to what Corey Hagen was expecting Marlon Moraes to do when he was protecting his lead leg in the last frame. Again, Corey Sandhagen showing an excellent combat theory, understanding that you want to protect your lead leg as best as possible while continuing to damage your opponents, right? And stress their technique, slow them down, and make it easier for you during the end of the fight, the long haul. And as we can see here, again, that same clip, meeting him on the line and beating him to the position, off the line for his leg kick, and then beating him into the position when Marlon Moraes looks to control the space and meet him there for lead hand control, right? Breaking that rhythm and making an attack instead. And as the fight continues, Corey Sandhagen full of all kinds of interesting tricks, right? Watch as Marlon Moraes steps to the front foot and looks to cross the line, right? Again, talking about waist distribution, right? Look at where the positions are, right? His head is on the front foot. This is going to allow him to transfer his weight back to the back foot with his left hand, his left cross, his left hook, or a left leg kick, right? Bringing his weight back to the back foot. However, Corey Sandhagen recognizes this, and he doesn't want Marlon Moraes to have that type of versatility in his technique. So what does he do? When Marlon Moraes moves his weight back to the back foot to transfer his weight to take that step, Corey Sandhagen takes a front kick and sweeps it through the zone that Marlon Moraes would be keeping his head. Again, threatening that front foot position. Now Corey Sandhagen is not only threatening it with leg kicks, but he's threatening it with head kicks as well. And brilliantly, this is a front kick. So this front kick doesn't actually compromise his technique. He still has all his weight perfectly centered, heel, knee, head. And if he wanted to, very much like in that fight, that's the big highlight, knockout of the year, that guy who has his leg caught in a very similar position, but he was still able to transition his weight out of that position and throw a head kick at his opponent. Corey Sandhagen is in a very similar position in which he is throwing that front kick, but he's not compromising his line enough that from this position, now that he has his knee back and he has his weight, his hips under him, that he can't throw another attack from this position. Change positions with the question mark kick style, right? And transition his hips into another attack, right? Using a neutral attack to isolate Marlon Moraes off of his line. Again, only serving to extrapolate the problems that Marlon Moraes is going to have later. Again, Marlon Moraes having a very difficult time finding Corey Sandhagen's legs and being able to attack him, being able to compromise his technique, and being able to push him off of his line. right? Well, accomplishing pushing him off of his line very well, but not able to set up any attacks off of it, right? So, continuing to go forward, and we have Sandhagen feinting and changing positions in front of Moaraes, right? Now he's been kicking him and destroying his legs and pushing him off of his line and threatening his position, and now he's able to do that by controlling the lead hand, controlling the lead hand, controlling the lead hand, and changing positions and changing stance. And each time he does this, he's threatening Marlon Moaraes with another leg kick, right? Again, forcing Marlon Moaraes to decide, oh, am I going to stand there and eat it and make an attack? Or am I going to move off my line and give up my position, right? Again, making it more and more difficult for Marlon Moaraes to find opportunities to attack him because he's the last one to the line every time. Now, again, getting pushed off of his line and then immediately beating him to the line and landing a leg kick. He's just so much faster with his positions and his ability to transition his weight that Marlon Moaraes cannot find him, but continues getting battered to the leg. Now, why this is important is because once he's compromised Marlon Moaraes' leg and his front foot, he's not going to be able to change positions as fast or as quickly or as efficiently as he would like, slowing him down and getting him stuck on the line and allowing him to probe, control him, cross the line, distribute his weight all the way to the front foot, and then bring his weight back to the back foot with this left leg kick, right? But an excellent way to feint, probe, and put himself in a position in which Marlon Moaraes is expecting a left hand, bringing his weight from the front foot to the back foot, getting away from Sandhagen because Sandhagen is on the front foot. However, Sandhagen throws the body shot while Marlon Moaraes is moving into it, right? So the right hand pushes Marlon Moaraes to the front foot to slip, right? Centering his weight on the front foot, no weight on the back foot, while Sandhagen is also in a very similar position. Their weight is mirrored here. Now, the only difference is Marlon Moaraes throws a left hand and gets his head off the line, right? Bringing his weight more towards the back line of his weight, while Sandhagen continues to transfer his weight through a leg kick instead of bringing his weight back, right? But an excellent counter to Marlon Moaraes' boxing, right? Coming with the leg kick and throwing it to the body as Marlon Moaraes brings his weight into that position. But because he's compromised Marlon Moaraes' weight so much by kicking him in the leg, he's able to slow him down and keep him on the line long enough to set this shot up. Again, using those feints and probes to set up a power shot, right? A really, really damaging attack, while Marlon Moaraes is, compromised on the line. And then again, some more excellent boxing, right? Using the lead hand here, boom, seeing that Marlon Moaraes is going to use his lead hand and jab with him, right? Even though Corey Sandhagen's was a hook, Corey Sandhagen picks up on the fact that Marlon Moaraes is looking to jab with him because that's the only position in which Moaraes is not getting destroyed on the line, right? So he looks to box with him, very similar to the last sequence, and he shoots a probe. And he knows that the counter coming back from Marlon Moaraes is going to be a jab as he rocks back and shoots forward. However, Sandhagen slips all his way to the back foot and comes in with an uppercut to catch him on the line. Again, destroying Marlon Moaraes on the line in nearly every engagement. He's just destroying him, and it's such an impressive performance. He's beating him in every position. He's beating him with the leg kicks. He's beating him with the boxing. He's just beating his ass, He's just absolutely dominating him. And even in situations like this, right? Feinting him onto the line, right? Shooting the jab, slipping to the back foot, getting off the line, right? Moving off, then re-entering the line, crossing his line, controlling him with the lead hand, here, feinting with the left hand, pushing Marlon Moaraes to the back half of his line again, and walking him into the body kick again, destroying him, right? Destroying him on his line. And now Marlon Moaraes is realizing that, hey, I can't stay on the line with him when he feints and probes because he's throwing leg kicks. He's throwing body kicks. He keeps hitting me with these big attacks. And again, feinting, probing, and then setting up the body shots. And Marlon Moaraes is figuring out that he cannot stay on the line, boom, with Corey Sandhagen anymore. He has to get off because feint, leg kick, knee to the body. And all of these attacks, right, are continuing to steal the confidence that Moraes has of getting on the line with Sandhagen. Again, he's losing all of the boxing. He's losing all of the kickboxing. He's losing everywhere on the line right now. And all that he has left to him is moving to the back foot, right, and getting off the line. And that's going to bring us here, right, as Sandhagen continues to use fancy moves, feinting the low kick, right, boom, and using the question mark kick to come to the head. Again, further dominating Marlon Moraes, right? Marlon Moraes. Feinting low, kicking high. Again, showing that Marlon Moraes is not safe on the line with Sandhagen, right? Now we move into this again, controlling the line, leg kick, right? Further pushing Marlon Moraes off of his line and opening up these positions and the ability for Sandhagen to change positions, right? Meet him on the line and then move into the next leg kick before he can change positions, right? He's just so much quicker, right? And again, speed is an illusion. It's your ability to change positions that really determines how fast you are, right? How you manage your weight. And then again, in the final sequence before the head kick, Sandhagen meeting him on the line, controlling him with the lead hand, and then moving into a leg kick that pushes Marlon Moraes off of his line. Now pay attention, right? Marlon Moraes meets him on the front foot, and the jab comes, and Marlon Moraes is on the front foot. He recognizes that the leg kick is coming, and then Marlon Moraes moves his weight to the back foot, right? He starts to create a line between his weight and his back leg. Now he's going to shuffle with all of his weight once he's transferred to the back foot, right? Nothing on his front foot here, right? And he's going to shuffle that to the front foot. This is called a pendulum step, where you take your weight from one foot and you shuffle to the other foot. And notice, when he ends this motion, all of his weight is on the front foot, right? Even though his heel is not under him, all of his weight is on the front foot here. This is very important because Sandhagen realizes this and in the next sequence uses the same feint and then the same leg kick motion as he spins around to threaten Marlon Moraes' front leg. Again, Marlon Moraes thinking it's going to be either a body kick from the left leg, right? Or a leg kick from the left leg, or maybe a leg kick from the right leg. But Sandhagen realizes that all of these motions are now pushing Marlon Moraes off of his line, and now he's able to come forward with a head kick instead as Marlon Moraes goes from the front foot to the back foot. Pendulum step, right? Creating a line. And he's going to shift his weight forward to the front leg. And that's where Sandhagen meets him with his leg kick. Again, just excellent combat theory and excellent work from Sandhagen as Marlon Moraes on the front foot. He pushes him off of the front foot with the lead hand, and he changes his position to the back foot. And Sandhagen recognized that Marlon Moraes is using the pendulum step and transferring his weight from the front foot back to the front, or from the back foot back to the front foot through the pendulum step, and meets him there with the head kick instead of missing with the leg kick. Again, this was one of the best performances of the year. This was an absolute masterclass from Sandhagen, and what he did against a much smaller fighter, a much quicker fighter, is much more difficult, in my opinion, than what Adesanya did, even though they both did roughly the same exact thing, right? They fought in very similar ways. If this guy Sandhagen said he worked out at Adesanya's gym, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But this was an amazing performance, an amazing head kick KO, and an amazing performance from Sandhagen, who absolutely dominated the line against Marlon Moraes. This is also a fight that should never, ever have a rematch. Ever.